Okay, something I decided to do. Everything worked pretty well on my Bronco. I had a few little electrical issues here and there that I'd follow wires and figured out. But when I got under the dash, it was just like just a complete mess. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna tackle a whole new wiring harness. There are several different wiring harnesses you can go. Painless is, from what I understand, it's great. I did not go with painless. I almost did. I ended up going with Centec. Why did I go with Centec? I asked for a lot of opinions online. I called a lot of Bronco places, and to be honest with you, most of the technicians said I'd go with Centec. Painless is great. You pay a lot more for it, and Centec is just as good. The one thing you do get with the painless harness is you get extra spaces in your, if you want to add fuses, like for example, if you want to add a winch or if you want to add a big light, painless comes with extra space in your fuse box to add things like that. Centec does not. All of it was very simple. All the wires on the Centec wiring harness are labeled very well. I was still confused because, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging this. And so I was on the phone with Centec quite a bit, asking him, hey, I've got this wire and this is what it says on it, and he'd explain to me where it goes. And it worked. It took me about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days to do it. I had to take out the dash. I would recommend doing it before you paint. But I think the wiring harness was about $600. I know that all my wiring is clean now. I know that it's working. There's no disconnections. All of my fuses are updated. You can see that I've still got wires just kind of hanging right there and twirled up and zip tied. The reason I did that is because those wires are for things like the electric wipers, which I don't have. My wipers are still hooked to my vacuum system. Kind of a little old fashioned. I didn't change that. I might in the future, so I just kept those wires there in case I wanted to. Doesn't look great, but my hood's never really up anyway. When I'm around, I don't put it up at car shows, so I don't really care what it looks like under the hood as much as I maybe should. But I kept a lot of the wires and I just roll them up and zip tie them that I wasn't using in case I ever wanted to upgrade something. They were there. So, but I did upgrade. And it is nice to know that all my electric system is solid and works well. That upgrade was probably $600 to $700 for a Centec, and if you're going painless, it's probably closer to $1,100 or $1,200. Both great, but I went with Centec. Less expensive, easy customer service.
No bumpers. I took off the original bumpers and I put on kind of these off-road bumpers. I found a guy out of Boise, and I think he was selling on eBay. I think this front bumper was only a couple $100, maybe $200 or $300, and then I had it powder coated. But I ended up liking it. These are for towing. I tow my Bronco and I take it long places, and that's for a tow bar that I put on separate. But I got these from a guy out of Boise, Idaho. I don't know if he sells them anymore, the front and rear. I think the rear was like $500 for that with the tire mount. The one thing I dislike about this back here is when I go on bumps, the weight of this spare tire kind of shakes this and I get some rattling out of it. But the bumpers, I got those, I was probably $700 or $800 in the bumpers.
And when I bought this Bronco, it had 1.5 inch exhaust. I wanted it to have like a deeper, throatier sound when I started it. And so I wanted to upgrade to 2.25, 2.5 inch exhaust, which I did. I ordered exhaust, a whole exhaust system, for a couple $100, maybe $300 maybe, off of LMC Truck. It was like their turbo exhaust system for the Bronco. It worked great. I had it professionally installed because I didn't know how to do it. I paid a muffler place maybe a couple $100, $150 to do that. And about 1.5 years later, when I was having the backfiring that I talked about, I took it back to check for exhaust leaks, and they claimed that my mufflers were bad. Whether they were or not, I don't know, but I ended up upgrading the mufflers to what they had as master muffler. I was trying to decide between Flowtech and Magnaflow. I chose Magnaflow. I had heard Flowtech. I thought they both sounded awesome, but I had a lot of feedback online telling me Flowmaster, you just get sick of the loud sound. It gives you a headache after driving all day or going off road. I thought it sounded awesome. but I ended up just going with the one that sounded good and a little bit quieter, and that was the MagnaFlow. And I ended up paying probably another $750 to have them redo my exhaust, which I didn't want to do, but I thought that was causing the backfiring. So that's what I put on there. Another thing I did was these right here. I went back and forth because I kind of like the look of the original Bronco, but these, the rocker panels there, I threw on. There's several different ones you can buy. I ended up going with Duff Tough because the Duff Tough ones you can stand on. The other ones have like disclaimers saying, however they're mounted, that you cannot step on them for some reason. The Duff Tough ones, I think they're 1/8 inch, $300. I had them powder coated. I've been happy with. Be careful when you install them though. As you can see right here, I drilled the hole and it kind of chipped my paint, so be aware of that.
I went back and forth on paint. Surprisingly, not very many shops do full body paint anymore. Even custom hot rod shops, I'd call them, they only do insurance claims because that's where they make money. So I was very limited. I had a hard time finding paint shops. I had one quote over the phone that the guy, he wouldn't give me a quote, but he said I'd be at least 15 grand on a Bronco like this. I didn't want to pay 15 grand because I beat the crap out of this thing in the mountains. And if I paid that much for paint, I would never drive in the mountains. So and then I had another guy come bid it, and he was custom. He was about $7,000, but he was out 5 or 6 months. I didn't want to wait. So as I kept looking, to be honest with you, and some of you may think I'm crazy, this is from Mako. I ended up getting a Mako paint job. I neither recommend or discourage from Mako. They have their goods and their bads. I told them when I was doing this that I wanted it done right. I said I want to be able to put it in a car show if I want, but I don't want it to be super expensive. So I took it in. I ended up paying, this is a $4,500 paint job from Mako, much less than some of the custom places. I thought it looked great. However, it's not custom. So they literally spray it down with a wax that makes the whole car shine, and it makes the little dents stand out, and they go around and say, what do you want us to fix? They circle everything you tell them to that's standing out in the shiny stuff, the shiny wax they spray on it, and then they go and they fix it and paint it. They missed some stuff on my door, or you might say I missed it because I didn't see it. So on my driver's side door, I ended up having that redone and paying another maybe $600 for the driver's side door to be repainted and some dents taken out of it. I don't know if I love the method of going through Mako and doing that. They did tell me there, you know, when I talked to them that, hey, we can do quick, easy paint jobs for $900, sure. But if you want it done right, we're still gonna be a lot more expensive like a custom shop. We can do it right, you're just gonna pay for it. We don't advertise, you know, the more expensive paint jobs because we do a lot of cars. So anyway, I ended up having them do it. They claimed they could do it. They bid $4,500. I think it looks pretty dang good. I've been happy with it, but going back, I may wait, you know, a little bit longer to find a custom paint shop that can do it for a couple grand more, that would go through and get every little ding and dent on it. Again, I think it looks great. They had me replace my hood and my tailgate because they were a little too rusted. They said it'd be more body work than, more expensive for body work than just to replace them. So I did that. But other than that, there was a little bit of body work that needed to be done, but not a whole lot. But I think generally speaking, it looks pretty good. I picked out a custom blue that I liked. I was copying my buddy's Mustang. The white that you see here on the top it's not actually pure white. It's called Wimbledon white, and I put it on the interior as well, on the doors and the dash. And I took the dash pad out. I've thought about putting one back in. I just haven't. I like the transition from the blue to the white. But this is called Wimbledon white. And if you put it next to a white, it almost looks kind of yellowish. But I like the color next to the blue a lot more than when I see Broncos with just straight white. And then the blue, I can't even tell you what it was. I think it was as close as we could match to a Ford blue. I can't even remember what it was called. but I like how it turned out. I also ordered those wheels those are 33-inch tires, but the wheels, I think I paid $94 a piece for those. Nothing special, but I've been really happy with them.
All right, I feel like I've gone over, for the most part, the things that I would say to do to a Bronco. Again, if you're getting a Bronco, if you're getting into this, anyone can do it. I am a weekend mechanic, if that. If you can follow directions, if you can watch YouTube videos, if you can connect on the Facebook page, Early Bronco Drivers, everyone is very helpful there and can really help you do pretty much anything. The moment you ask a question on that site, you're gonna get like 10 responses within 5 minutes. It's awesome, and everyone knows what they're talking about. It's really good. But if I can do this, I figure anyone can do this. But just to reiterate a couple things, going back, if you're thinking about getting into a Bronco, the first things I would do, make sure it has power steering and front disc brakes. Those two things, essential, worth every penny. You're gonna pay about $900 to $1,000 for power steering. You're gonna pay about $600 or $700 for disc brakes on the front. Just do it. It makes all the difference in the world in how it drives. Bushings, under $100, replace your bushings. Makes a big difference in how it drives, how it sounds, all of that. And then probably suspension lift. I stay away from the body lift, but the suspension lift, you can get one for less than $300 from Tom's Bronco Parts. It does the job. It's great. If you want to upgrade later, you can. But a suspension lift, I've got a 2.5 on this with 33-inch tires. I've thought about going 35-inch tires, but then I have to change my ring and pinion. I don't even know what that means. I just know it's something in my rear differential, I think. But I also like the looks of the 33s. I think it looks pretty good. But 35s, every time I see a Bronco with big wheels, I'm like, man, I need to put bigger wheels on this thing. But I'm happy with the 33s. I'm happy with the 2.5-inch lift. Again, your disc brakes, power steering, those are your big guys. If you want to spend $1,500 and get a fuel injection kit, I think it's worth it. I'm yet to do AC. I'd like to do AC. I haven't yet. Would love some opinions on it. But if you guys have any questions, anything at all that I can help with, if you want to know, hey, if this idiot can do it, then I can do it, then let me know, because I'm happy to help out with anything you need, answer any questions of what I've done, and I'd like feedback of what I could do, because these Broncos, when I got into this, I just thought it was a cool machine that I could cruise around, go to the gym, go to my soccer games and softball games and stuff that I do, recreation sports, and cruise around town, run errands with it. Ends up, it is just a whole big, really enjoyable project that sometimes you just want to burn it, and other times you love working on it. But I've learned a lot. Anyone can do it. If you have any questions on anything else I've done, let me know. I'm happy to help. Take care.